Hello.
Hi Madhuri, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you? Can you see me?
I can see you. You look lovely as ever. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's the first time I think any of us are experiencing these kind of interviews, miles away from each other, still connected on.
Yes,
It must be
ab-
strange, right?
a little strange because we usually meet people for interviews, and this is the first time everything is, long distance. It's like do it yourself, whether you're shooting for a song video or you're shooting for your own promos for one of the reality shows that I'm doing, or, everything has to be done, do it yourself.
Amazing.
And we're
So
learning a lot actually during this phase.
I can imagine. And you're so lucky because you live with three men who are very technologically savvy. So it must be like heaven for
Absolutely.
you.
It is, because I have a lot of support.
Absolutely. So what's wonderful, Madhuri, is normally we talk when you're promoting a TV show or a movie, but today we're talking for the first time because you are promoting your first single, Candle.
Yeah,
Now, I know this is something, music is something you've been passionate about for years, but where did that idea come from to turn this into something more professional as well?
well, it happened because I was in LA, and Mr. Sad Bisla, who's the owner of A&R Worldwide, he heard me sing and he said, "You have a very beautiful voice. Why don't you sing? You should sing." And so we got into a studio after I went and trained with Mr. Ron Anderson, who is a vocal trainer and who has trained people like Ariana Grande or, Whitney Houston. He's worked with Weekend. He's worked with Mariah Carey. And so we went to him and we did some vocal training with him. And then we went into a studio with the producer Narinder Singh, Michael Oakes, who's written the words, lyrics, and Raja Kumari and my husband and me, we all went into a studio and said, what do we sing about? What do you want to sing about? And I thought that, struggle is such a big part of everybody's life. Everybody struggled at some point in their lives, and how they overcame it. I mean, that is the most important thing. But today, when I looked at the situation all over the world, this virus has brought the world to its knees. Everybody's suffering because of it. It is an unprecedented time we are in. There's so many hardships, uncertainty. We don't know what's going to happen. And I thought this song would bring a ray of hope, like I call it the candle of hope. And if I introduce this to the people, they might feel a little bit of, take a breath. It's all going to be okay. I also thought that the candles who are burning the brightest today are the people who are on the front lines, like nurses and doctors and, sanitation workers, the police. They all are risking their own lives, staying away from their families, and all this to keep us healthy and safe. I thought it would be a great tribute if I dedicate this song to them.
The music
Yes.
video is quite hard to digest because you're seeing moments and glimmers from people who are in distress, who are going through this. And I know what an emotional person you are as well. So
Yes.
how much did making this song take a toll on your personal health?
Well, while we were making the song, the first hurdle was how to shoot the song. We had the song, but we had to plan from the shooting, and we thought, we'll have to do it at home, obviously, because we are under lockdown. And so we shot in the house. We had to, find out on YouTube. We talked to a few people first. How do you light up? Because, we are professionals, but we are actors. We don't do our own lighting when we go on the set. There's a DOP to do that. So we went on YouTube, me and my husband, because he was the camera guy and director and everything, because I was in front of the camera. So we found out, on YouTube how to, keep the lights, to do a video shoot. And then we, place the lights accordingly. And because I know how they picturize songs, I mean, I've done songs all my life. So we had like 3 cameras, 2 iPhones, at different perspectives, like one whole, one mid, and a close up. And so that's how we shot. And then we wanted, these images, because we have seen this, we have seen these images, and we have been affected by it. We've seen doctors, nurses, everyone's suffering. We have seen people suffering, in their lives, and everybody is going through hardships. And so to make this video, we had to, like really create those images and get that whole story together, and stitch it together. And while watching them, we were like, there were tears in our eyes.
Not only are you a professional actor and now singer as well, but you also are a mother, you're a wife. How do you maintain that hope amongst your own family? I'm sure your sons and your husband are also anxious about, when lockdown will be lifted, when life will go back to normal. How do you make sure you maintain that positivity in your home?
Well, the thing is that I come from a home where we have a doctor in the house, and that's Ram, my husband. So we get the kind of feedback where it's a very composed, it's very real, and we get that kind of feedback from him. What's going to happen? What's happening right now? And so we go with the flow, because with the kids, they are in virtual learning, they are in school, but they're learning virtually, and so they're also having a hard time, because sometimes it's different going to school, being in that social atmosphere, and now they're in their rooms and trying to learn. I think that makes a difference, but we all are holding our own, and we are supporting each other, being the candles in each other's lives, if you may. But I have a mom who's 87 at home, and so we have to protect her, we have to make sure she's okay. And so I think you just have to like take a deep breath and say that, somewhere in your mind you have to believe that this too shall pass, have faith, and do the right things that are needed to be done in these times.
How much did this affect you work-wise, Madhuri? Obviously, your music career has managed to continue during this process, but in terms of film and television work?
Well, the film and television work is halted right now because we are in the red zone. It's completely under lockdown. How they will resume it, and how everything is going to kickstart again is the question, because there need to be a lot of planning behind that. How are we going to get back into the studios? Are we going to check everyone every day? Are we going to check the temperatures? But a lot of people are asymptomatic, so how do we deal with that?
Yeah.
And there are a lot of questions, but nothing concrete has come out of this. And unless that plan is put into place, I think it's going to be very difficult to actually go into studios and start working.
If there was one actress who would have been prepared for a situation like this, I firmly believe it's Madhuri Dixit, because you had that time a decade ago when you lived the normal life. You lived a simple life in Denver. You did your own grocery shopping. You did your own cooking and cleaning. So
Absolutely.
this must have been a bit of a jolt back to that time in life.
Yes, absolutely. And I don't think it's even a jolt, because to do your own work is it's great. It's in fact, when you do it yourself, you do it to your satisfaction and your level of perfection, or whatever you want to give that work. But I think it's been pretty. It's been good. It's been good so far, and a little bit of independence is always good. And like I said, it's a do-it-yourself kind of a phase we are in.
I've sat on that sofa behind you with you a few years ago.
Yes.
We recorded a very special program. And when I came back to London and I told my friends and family, I went to Madhuri Dixit's house. They were like, how was her house? What was it like? And I said, it was beautiful, but simple.
Right.
And people don't believe that a superstar like yourself can live such a simple life.
Yeah, we are simple people. We like our art. I love my craft. I love to sing, dance, act, everything, but we are simple people.
When you did the I for India concert a couple of weeks ago, you sung a cover of Ed Sheeran's Perfect, and you sung it just where you're sat right now. You were standing behind there, and your son Arin was on the piano.
Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, just listening to my favorite song.
And what I thought was beautiful was not only the song itself, but I suddenly realized that your son is 17 years old and you were 17 years old when Aboard released. Now,
Yes, that's right.
When you think about that in perspective, and you think about how young and innocent and naive your son is at this age, intelligent, I'm sure, but the innocence of youth, do you ever think back to how innocent or how unprepared maybe you were coming in at such a young age?
Yes, I was unprepared, and I will agree to that because I was not from a film family. We didn't know how the industry worked. We had no knowledge going into it. But I think somewhere I got to work with the right kind of people. I got the right opportunities. I worked with wonderful teams, wonderful director, everyone from the DOPs to the kind of songs I had to the kind of choreographers I worked with. I was very, very fortunate to have a very, very good team behind me. And that's what makes a star, you know. It's not just you. And of course, I was ready to work hard for it. And that's what I did, you know. But now when I see Aaron, it's like I look at him and I say, I was that young when I started. And and that was his first actual appearance in front of a camera where he talked to a camera.
There are many people worldwide and in India who are suffering from COVID-19 and its economic and cultural fallout.
So he is into music and he's into drama. He does drama in his school. But this was the first time he was like publicly introduced, and that kind of hit me later. When we were doing it, we didn't even think about that. But I just realized it later, and I was like, oh my God, you know, this is exactly the age I was at. But it's wonderful how confident, you know, the kids are today. They are very self-assured, confident, and they don't get phased very easily. So that worked for him, and it was for a great cause. I for India was to, you know, collect funds for people who have been affected by the virus, and so it was a great opportunity for him also, to, you know, show off his art and to be a part of such a big movement. And we selected Perfect because I love the song by Ed Sheeran. It talks about like undying love and, you know, love forever, and I'm a romantic at heart. But I selected the song, and then I asked Aaron, can you play this on the piano, because he's been learning the piano for, and he's good with music. So he said, yeah, you know, cool, I'll do it. And so he went and he just kind of uh, worked it out how the song works, and then we rehearsed and then we performed.
Now, this interview is not about your movies, but there is no conversation with Madhuri Dixit which is complete without movies. I heard you recently say that Hum Aapke Hain Koun is your all-time favorite of your own movies, and I just rewatched it a few days ago as well, and I realized how iconic that character is. You know, people often say they don't make them like that anymore, and when you think back to your movies, do you worry that the kind of fabric of Bollywood that we've grown up on will no longer exist?
I think times change, and what happens with the changes is that it reflects in the kind of cinema you make. Today, people are open to different kind of content because they are exposed to world cinema because of the OTT platforms, and they're watching cinema from all over the world. And I think they also want to see Indian cinema change. Of course, there's a crowd which still likes the dance and music and everything, but there's also an audience that kind of appreciates a content-driven film. And so I think there will be all kinds of film made in India. And I don't see the song and dance and those kind of films, larger than life kind of films, going away very soon. But this is also a new wave cinema where people are enjoying very relatable characters who are everyday, you know, characters that you see in your life, you know, and their story unfold on screen. I think people are enjoying that too.
This year marks 25 years of my favorite Madhuri Dixit film. Do you remember which one it was?
No, you got to tell me.
Yaraana, of course, Yaraana.
Okay.
What great songs, what great moments. You acting as a mannequin at the start of that movie as well, while Rishi Kapoor is lifting you around this field.
Right.
It's all just beautiful. Obviously, we lost Rishi Kapoor just a few weeks ago.
Lost two of our very big stars, Rishi Kapoor and Irfan Khan, both brilliant actors, and it was very sad. So 2020 so far has been not a very bright year.
No.
Yes, and for all of us, it's a big loss to the
Do,
industry.
do you have any memories of Yaraana or any of those songs from Yaraana?
Oh yes, a lot of them Rabbi Re Rali Gulab Ki. And yeah, I mean, it was a fun movie. It was you know there was an element of like I said, it was comedy, and it was like full of life kind of a movie. And of course, Rishi Kapoor and his mannerisms and all are like, he's fabulous with songs and the way he emotes them. Yeah, he will be missed.
I know you're also currently working on a Netflix original show that's produced by Karan Johar. Now, I was really excited a couple of years ago when you announced you were developing something with Priyanka Chopra, which was based on your own life in Denver. Is this the same project that's been readapted now? I know there's an element.
No. That was a very different project. It had a different vibe, and everything about it was nothing like what this project is. So that's a separate project, and I think that's still in the pipeline. It's never done till it's done, and it's never gone till it's actually not done.
Absolutely. Madhuri, thank you so much for your time, and may you continue entertaining us and giving us hope for many, many years to come.
Thank you so much for having me.
If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe, and click the bell icon to keep up to date. For more great audio and video from the BBC, listen on Sounds, watch on iPlayer.